An Indian-origin US State Department advisor has been arrested after being accused of retaining classified records.
America, we just uncovered what might be the biggest espionage scandal since the Clinton email server. An Indian-born defense strategist with top secret clearance just got busted with over 1,000 pages of classified documents. And here's the kicker. The FBI has him on video handing off manila envelopes to Chinese officials at dinner meetings. But this isn't just some low-level bureaucrat. This is Ashley Tellis, a guy who helped negotiate nuclear deals and advised presidents on the most sensitive national security matters. What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story has everything: foreign influence, classified documents, and a career deep state operative who thought he was untouchable. But the FBI was watching, and what they found out is going to blow your mind. Let me break down exactly who we're dealing with here, because this isn't some random government employee. Ashley Tellis is a 64-year-old naturalized U.S. citizen who was born in India. This guy was embedded into our national security apparatus for over 2 decades.
Mumbai-born analyst and prominent US-India expert Ashley Tellis has been arrested in the US for allegedly hoarding over 1,000 pages of classified defense documents and also holding undisclosed meetings with Chinese officials.
Here's his resume, and it's going to make you sick. He worked on George W. Bush's National Security Council. He was a senior advisor to the U.S. ambassador in New Delhi. He helped negotiate the landmark civil nuclear deal between the U.S. and India in 2008. Currently, he's listed as a chair for strategic affairs at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace.
He was a key voice in Washington on South Asia. In fact, he was working directly under Republican President George W. Bush and consulting for both the State Department and the Pentagon.
But here's where it gets really disturbing. As of right now, Tellis was working as an unpaid senior advisor for the State Department and as a contractor for the Office of Net Assessments with the Pentagon. That is an internal think tank inside the Pentagon, folks. This guy had access to our most sensitive military intelligence. Now, before we dive deeper into how this espionage operation worked, I need to talk to you about something that hits way too close to home. While we're watching government officials potentially sell our national secrets, there's another massive privacy violation happening to every single one of us right now, and most people have no idea what's happening. Look at this. This is an 11-page report showing exactly what data brokers know about me, and it's absolutely insane. They have my home address, my family members, my income estimates, my shopping habits, and even my political affiliations. And here's the scary part. They're selling this information to anyone willing to pay for it. Scammers, stalkers, foreign actors, anybody. It makes me absolutely furious that these companies are making billions and billions of dollars off our privacy without our consent, and they make zero effort to stop bad actors from buying it. But here's what really gets me. While we're worried about government officials leaking classified documents, our own personal data is being sold openly on the internet every single day. That's why I've partnered with today's sponsor, Aura. Aura protects your privacy by identifying data brokers selling your information and automatically removing it from these sites. But unlike other services, Aura gives you way more protection for the same price. You get dark web monitoring, real-time fraud alerts, 24/7 identity monitoring, a secure VPN, antivirus, password management, and if anything does happen, they include $5 million in identity theft insurance with US-based fraud experts available around the clock. You can try Aura free for 14 days at aura.com/Tyson. That's enough time for Aura to start scrubbing your personal information off these data broker sites without you even lifting a finger. Me personally, I'm not leaving myself vulnerable to data brokers and foreign actors, and you shouldn't either. Now back to how the FBI caught this deep state operative red-handed. Now let me tell you how they caught this guy, because the FBI didn't just stumble upon this. They've been watching him, and the evidence is absolutely damning. On September 12th, surveillance cameras inside the Department of Defense facility caught Tellis using a computer asking a coworker to print documents for him. On October 10th, he was seen again at the same building walking out with, get this, classified documents. But here's where it gets wild. On September 25th at 3 p.m., Tellis entered the State Department building in Washington, D.C. and logged into ClassNet. That's the department's classified internet system. He used it for about an hour. Then get this, at 8:11 p.m., he came back into the building to access a U.S. Air Enforcement document that was over 1,000 pages long.
A State Department employee from Fairfax County is facing federal charges for allegedly keeping classified records. Ashley Tellis of Vienna is accused of printing and storing more than 1,000 pages of highly sensitive government documents at home.
The FBI affidavit states that he renamed the document, printed sections of it, placed the sensitive documents in his personal briefcase, and then took it home to his residence in Virginia. When they searched his house on October 11th, they found classified government documents throughout his home. Now here's where this story goes from document theft to potential espionage. The FBI has been tracking Tellis's meetings with Chinese officials, and what they discovered should terrify every American.
A Manila envelope exchange was also caught on tape. So Manila envelope is a bigger envelope that are associated with these clandestine operations. So he was seen meeting some PRC, some people, some Chinese officials.
In September 2022, Tellis met with Chinese officials for dinner at a restaurant in Fairfax, Virginia. The FBI observed him entering the restaurant holding a manila envelope. And here's the key detail. He didn't have the envelope when he left 2 hours later. That's Tradecraft 101, people. In April 2023, he met Chinese officials again at dinner in Fairfax. The FBI could occasionally overhear them talking about Iranian-Chinese relations and emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence. Think about that. A guy with access to our most sensitive military technology discussing AI with Chinese officials. March 2024, another dinner meeting where they heard discussions about U.S.-Pakistan relations. And just last month, September, Tellis met with Chinese officials again in Fairfax. And this time, the Chinese officials gave him a red gift bag. What do you think was in there? Now, here's what really gets me fired up about this case. This guy was operating in plain sight for decades, moving between think tanks, government positions, and academic institutions. He's exactly the type of person that I've been warning you guys about, an unelected bureaucrat who thinks they can run the country. The Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, where Tellis holds a chair for strategic affairs, is one of the globalist think tanks that rotates people in and out of government positions. They create this revolving door where the same people maintain influence regardless of which party is in power. And get this, just last week before his arrest, Tellis published a paper arguing that India needs to abandon its strategic autonomy and commit more firmly to the U.S. orbit to counter China. Meanwhile, he's allegedly passing our secrets off to the Chinese. You can't make this stuff up, guys. This case exposes everything that's wrong with our national security establishment. We have foreign-born individuals with divided loyalty in the most sensitive positions of our government. We have think tanks that serve as cover for intelligence operations, and we have a system that allows people to move classified information with impunity. The timing of this arrest is also significant. It comes as the Trump administration is trying to reset our relationship with both India and China through his tariff policies. Now we find out that one of the key advisors in India policy was potentially compromised by Chinese intelligence. This raises serious questions about security clearance positions. How does somebody maintain top secret clearance while meeting regularly with foreign officials and removing classified documents? Where was the oversight here? Where was the safeguards? If convicted, Tellis faces up to 10 years in prison and $250,000 in fines under the 18 U.S. Code 793, which deals with gathering, transmitting, or losing defense information. But honestly, is that enough for potentially compromising decades of national security intelligence? His detention hearing is scheduled for October 21st, 2025. The U.S. Attorney of Eastern Virginia, who's appointed by President Trump, said these charges represent a grave risk to safety and security to our citizens. The fact that Tellis had planned overseas travel on the day that authorities raided his home suggests he knew that the walls were closing in. This wasn't some accidental mishandling of documents. This was a systematic operation to remove classified material from government facilities. America, this case represents everything that I've been telling you about deep state and foreign influence in our government. We have a career bureaucrat who thinks that they're above the law, foreign nationals in sensitive positions, and a system that allows classified information just to walk out the door. The Ashley Tellis case should be a wake-up call for every American. When people with access to our most sensitive military secrets are meeting with Chinese officials and removing classified documents, our national security is at risk. This is why we need accountability, transparency, and a complete overhaul of our security clearance system. No more revolving doors between think tanks and government positions, no more foreign-born individuals in the most sensitive roles, and no more treating our national security secrets like they're academic research papers. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.